staying outside, okay? All right.
Morning.
Morning.
Slaven, is Andy Carroll fit for Monday? He's been back training this week.
Well, I hope he's going to be fit. Yeah. Well, he trained individually for a few days. Last few days, he done everything with the guys, and then he joined us yesterday. And well, it's not a usual press conference before the game, like 2 days before the game. Still, we have 4 days, but he trained yesterday with us, he's training today with us, and we still have 4 days free trainings till the game, and it looks good. And especially with him, that altogether it will be a week of good training, which was so far enough for him to be fit for a game. So I'm very optimistic. Is he going to play or not? So it looks good. Then we're going to see in next few days. But it looks good. It looks good so far. So far, so good. It would be a lot. I mean, we done well against him. We done well without him in the last couple of games. But I'm sure that we would have done even better with him, because he's one of our key players, and it would be great to have him on a pitch on Monday. And also, it would be a big blow if somehow he doesn't make it. But as I said, I'm always trying to be optimistic, but this time it is not crazy optimistic. It is basically realistic that he's going to be fit and available on Monday.
Is it true the club gave an agent exclusive authority to do a deal to sell him to a Chinese club last month?
No way. I mean, you know how much I rate him, how much we rate him. And I said a couple of minutes ago that he's one of our best players, and we want to keep him. And no. As far as I know, is that the Chinese clubs, they sent their representatives, I don't know which club or clubs, to watch the game. Apparently they were watching other players, but they fell in love with Andy. So it's not the club that asked from some agent to try to sell him. No.
How has Andy been? I mean, did he ask you about it? Did he have a reaction at all to the news?
No, not at all. I mean, definitely he heard it. And I mean, I suppose that he was flattered with that, you know what I mean? It's nice to have options. It's nice to have a good opinion of other clubs about you. But we didn't talk about it at all.
Is it a relief to you that the window in China has now shut?
Well, we haven't been bombed with offers from China, so it didn't affect me, and I didn't wait for that to finish, But
tell me, was there an offer from China for Andy? Did the club not turn down an offer from a club in China?
Yeah, but you told me about closing down of their window, it wasn't like that we had 5, 10, 3 or 4 or 5 offers from China for our players, so I'm like, I wanted to finish, I wanted to stop. No, that happened with Andy. I heard it, and I also read it in the papers, and it didn't affect our trainings or relationship with any of the players, including Andy. As I told you, we didn't even speak about it. So that's it, basically. There's not a lot to talk about.
In terms of other team news for Monday, obviously you're without Michail Antonio, suspended
Yeah.
after being sent off against Watford. Is there anybody else who is struggling?
No, it's just Mikey who is suspended. Of course, it's a big blow for us. And it's only Sako and Ogbonna who are out, but we knew that before. Sako is coming back. He's traveling tomorrow to see the specialist in Bordeaux, to see the surgeon, and just to give him a green light to push up more, because he's doing really good. So he could be back if that meeting tomorrow goes well, that we are expecting. He may be available if he progressed like he progressed so far. Maybe, I don't know, 3-4 weeks, because it was a surgery. And Angelo is doing really good, yeah, after his surgery on the knee. So apart from that, he has some small knocks and all that you always have in a club, but we are good in that. So it's only Mikey that is out.
Okay. Can you just clarify the situation with John Antonio's contract? Where are we with that at the moment?
I told you last time, he's got a contract, but the club wants to reward him with a better contract, with a new contract, to show the recognition that we know, and we want to give him a new contract because he's done really great for us. And that's what the chairman told me. And I think it's going to be done very soon.
And what about you? We gather that West Ham are close to agreeing a new deal for you, John.
And look, I told you, I spoke a few times about my contracts and the way I see it, and I'm very happy the way I approach that situations. And I have a contract, and I'm very happy here, and I always treat my next few games as my contract, and I don't think that much about it.
Be nice to get it done, though, wouldn't it?
Well, I would lie, of course. Of course, it's nice, but as I told you, I have a 1.5 year contract, and nowadays in football, if you have 1.5 years or you have 4.5 years, there's no major difference in it. There's no difference at all. There's no difference at all, to be fair. If you look what happened to, the last example of Ranieri is the biggest one and the best one. If anybody ask anyone who's got anything to do with football, who's got the safest job before the season started, we would all say 100%, all countries. Come on, Ranieri. And then what happened was that. So I'm not bothered about that, to be fair. No.
So you're one of the few clubs that have beaten Chelsea this season. You beat them in the League Cup back in October. Do you feel perhaps you've got the measure of Chelsea? One of the few clubs to do so?
It would be very harsh to say so, that we beat them in that game, well deserved, played really well. Okay, someone will say that they didn't play with their strongest lineup. They didn't start the game. Okay, but then in the second half, very early in the second half, they put Hazard and Costa and Pedro, I think, there. And we beat them, and it means a lot, because at least we know it's not impossible. We have done it very recently, this season. And they are not different team now, because that was also in the period when they started to play in a new system and win games like easy, say. But they improved from that game, but also we improved a lot from that game, and we are playing good. And to be fair, it's not a bonus game. It's a game that we are playing at home, and it's a game that we are expecting something, knowing that we will have to be big time on top of our game, offensively and especially defensively, with the concentration, with the dedication, with the determination. And if we play like that, with a little bit of luck that is always needed when you play against them, we can get a result.
Do you think that some teams do think it's impossible to get something out of Chelsea? No. I watched the game like last night. Okay, that game was not very recent one, but I deliberately watched also the game against like Chelsea West Brom, where you are expecting West Brom or the clubs like West Brom not to believe in that, but they gave them a really hard game, difficult game. They limited them on, I don't know, they didn't have a shot on target in the first half, apart from Louis' free kick at the end of the first half. So Burnley, okay, when Chelsea is on fire and when they score that second one, then there's always a danger that it may go to 3-4 or whatever. But even for Chelsea, because that is a Premier League, I mean, this is a Premier League, Chelsea are winning. They are winning, and it's brilliant, and they have that gap and everything, and they are in the best position to win the league. But none of their games was easy. None of the games were easy, home or away. They are always. This is that kind of the league, and that makes the Premier League. I'm not saying it's the best, but the most specific one. League. There are simply no easy games, and during games, sometimes the game may start easy for you. You think like, oh, we are cruising and everything, but then suddenly, for 5 or 10 minutes, you are in big trouble, because every team has got either individual quality or team structure, like organization, determination, and all that, or both, mostly both, to at least make it very, very hard for you. And that goes not for us, of course, that goes for every club. That's why it happens to Arsenal, that's why it happens to Liverpool, that's why it happens to Spurs, Man United, everyone. Also Chelsea. Less than them, but there's a chance. They go into this weekend, 10 points clear. Realistically, do you think anyone can catch Chelsea? Anyone can stop Chelsea with the league?
No, yeah. It's still very open. I mean, still there are many points, and I mean, make no mistake. Like the clubs that are below us. Let's say we are in a position of that Chelsea is even a little bit better regarding the clubs who are in the relegation zone, and we are not afraid of our position. But you know that you need points. You need points to stay up and to improve. And those teams who are down, is it Sunderland, is it Hull, is it all of them that are down? They are hoping and they are planning to get the points, and they know if they start getting points, they have a good chance. So it's the same up there with the gap between Chelsea and 5 of them. Yeah, they still think that every one of them's got a chance to catch Chelsea if Chelsea slips. And you can slip in every game.
Finally, can I just ask you about Victor Moses? He was a player that you had here at West Ham last season. Have you been at all surprised by what he has done and his contribution?
Not surprised. I'm glad for him. He was our player, and we enjoyed that year. And he said that he also has a good memories about time here. So I'm really glad for him. His potential and his characteristics, his strength were always like amazing. His pace, his quality on the ball, his stamina and everything is basically top class. It was sometimes he's like you had to push him to do it day in, day out. And now he's doing that, and that's why he done amazing to keep his place in such a good side that probably wasn't guaranteed for him. I mean, it was everything but guaranteed for him in the beginning of the season, but he proved himself. And if you add on top of that he's playing in a position that is not basically his ideal position, or wasn't his ideal position, it makes his achievement even greater, and he should be very proud of what he has done since the start of the season.
And you sensed he had it in him?
Oh, he had it, of course he had it. I remember once we had once I spoke to Payet during last season, and he came into, it was him, I think, and a couple of other players, and Payet said that Victor is, including himself, the best player that we had in West Ham. And Victor, no, I mean, seriously, it was about time for him to show that what he had in himself, to explode in a positive way, and basically he's done it. And he looks also on a pitch very, very concentrated, very serious. So he became a tough player.
Ali, do you have any question?
Just a quick word on Manuel Lanzini and the impact that he's made. It seems to tie in with the improvement that you've had on the pitch. Just how important is he?
Of course, when your best players improve, I mean, then you are improving as a team. They are the best players not only because of their individual skills, but they are making all the players around them better. And that's what Manuel means to us. So he started the season with a big injury and a big disappointment that he couldn't go with Argentina to Olympic Games. And then he needed a bit time to get into the good shape and all that. And then the team helped him. And of course, now he's also helping the team. It is vice versa. And he's a top player. That is basically, he makes all the players around him feeling more comfortable on the ball, on the pitch, playing with more confidence, knowing that if they are in trouble, they can pass it to him, and he will always make that space for them available. That is crucial. And I'm a big fan of him. Just he's a very young player with his ups and downs, and he has to stay focused and totally in his game and football, and he can achieve great things. Cheers.
Slaven, when you beat Chelsea in the EFL Cup, you was just outside the relegation zone. You've since adjusted to a new stadium. You lost Dimitri Payet. Has this been one of the hardest seasons for you as a manager?
No. Well, it was a hard season, but every season is hard. But I consider this season as a great for me individually, and for the team as well, and for the club, because this season we experienced not everything, but a lot of negative, a lot of positive things, but mainly a lot of new things. We moved the stadium, we moved the training ground. We had very strange pre-season because of Euro 2016 and because of the qualifications for Europe. So, and then we were hit with a lot of injuries in the beginning of the season, but they were like long terms. And on some positions we didn't have any players. And then we started okay, but then September came, that like we lost 4 games home and away, and basically to come out of that in such a good way and to come back in a position that of course, we still want to improve and all that, but that is basically looks pretty good now. It makes you stronger. It's totally different than if we were in the beginning of the season at 8, 9, 10 or whatever, there, and you stay there. This way you enjoy it more, and this gives you the experience for the future, you know, not to sink, not to crumble, but to show your strength, knowing that if you work and if you stay focused and if you raise your quality, raise your efforts and responsibility, that you can get out basically of any situation.
What do you think was the turning point? And have you set a sort of points target for the last few remaining games?
No, the plan is, I said, the plan is very simple. It's to first to guarantee the safety, of course, and then to approach it game by game, try to win every game and see where we're going to finish. The turning point, there's no one turning point. We can talk about the game against Crystal Palace away that we won and all that. We can talk about those 2 games that we had home against Hull and Burnley in space of 3 days. It was like not beautiful football, but hard, deserved wins, 2 penalties, 1-0, 1-0. We can talk even about that period where we were in or just a little bit up of the relegation places when we were approaching those 5 big games, Spurs, Man United, Arsenal, Liverpool, and where we get a couple of points away against Man U, against Liverpool and all that. So you can pick any of them and say, yeah, this was the turning point, but there's no turning point. The turning point was that we didn't stop believe, and that we continued to hard, and we knew that the only way we're going to get out, if we're going to get out, is basically by sticking together and working hard. And that's the thing. That's the key. That's it.
The last one for me. What have you made of the job Antonio Conte's done at Chelsea? Are you surprised after they lost to Arsenal, they went on that 13-game winning streak? And just sort of
I'm surprised of that streak, you know, because it's not very common. I mean, it's almost impossible to make it in a in any league, not to mention Premier League. But I'm not surprised. I was expecting him to have a strong impact because he had it in Juventus, and I'm a big fan, and I'm a big fan of football. I didn't get to know Conte now that he came to Chelsea. I watch Juventus quite a lot. I was also studying his game and all that. And I didn't know because nobody knows. But if you had asked me before, and I'm sure that someone had asked me before, I really expected from him to do great long term. In the first season, it is a bit of surprise that they are 10 points clear. But Conte is a great manager, definitely. He done it with Juve, he done it with Italy. I mean, to have because I was a manager of the national team, and it's very difficult to make a national team being like a club that the players are seeing each other on daily basis. It's difficult there, although big pride and everything, but also big egos and all that. But he has done it in very short time with Italy, in less than 2 years, which is a great thing in international football. So brilliant manager, of course.
Cameras off, please.